We are just 3 months away from Election Day, and because of the pandemic concerns, there's been a lot of talk about mail-in ballots, also talk about possible voter fraud. Well, a woman in Matthews says that she received a voter registration application in the mail, but it was addressed to her late husband. He died 20 years ago. Our Glenn Counts spoke with her tonight, and Glenn, she told you that she was shocked and skeptical of all this.
Well, Erica, we are at the Board of Elections, and this is one of the places where you can register. Now, when Tim McSwain was alive, he took voting very seriously, and now his widow is wondering if someone tried to take advantage of that. Debbie McSwain was married to her husband Tim for 30 years. They had 2 sons.
He was 49 when he passed away in March of 2000. He had liver failure. He had had a liver transplant.
Yesterday, Mrs. McSwain went to the mail and found a surprise.
I got this in the mail yesterday. It is a letter to my husband, who is deceased.
The letter is from the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, and in it are all the materials someone would need to register to vote.
At a moment when voting safely is a concern for so many Americans, it is crucial that you register now. So then I thought, well, this is just a prime opportunity for voter fraud. I could fill it out and sign his name, send it in. He would go back on the books, and then somebody could go vote for him.
We contacted the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee about the mistake. We didn't get a clear reason as to how it happened, but a spokesperson stated that their flyer in the letter says you may only apply if you are eligible to register, and it's irresponsible to suggest that efforts to make sure eligible voters can cast their ballots are fraudulent. We also spoke to Michael Dickerson, head of the Mecklenburg County Board of Elections, and he said a variety of groups mail voter registration forms, not just the Democratic and Republican parties. Mrs. McSwain says her husband was very patriotic and would have been furious at the thought that someone could have fraudulently used his vote.
This is the first time, not even advertisements for candidates. I find it hard to believe after 20 years that it was a mistake.
Well, Glenn, we've seen this before. It's not the first time that something like this has happened. How unusual is it, and how does the Board of Elections say you should handle this if it happens to your family?
Well, Erica, you're right. It is definitely not the first time, but they say that a 20-year gap is very unusual. And in terms of how you should handle it, the Board of Elections say situations like this should be reported to them so that they can make sure that no deceased person is on the voter rolls.
Okay, Glenn, thank you. For months, President Trump has been raising concerns about voter fraud when it comes to mail-in ballots. He caused a stir among some lawmakers when he suggested on Twitter last week to delay the election because of it. He also suggested that voting by mail would cause a drawn-out counting process that could delay the results.
This is going to be the greatest election disaster in history. And by the way, you guys like to talk about Russia and China and other places. They'll be able to forge ballots. They'll forge them. They'll do whatever they have to do. People should go and they should vote or do an absentee ballot. So
because of the pandemic, it seems many people are choosing to vote by mail in North Carolina. Just last month, we told you more than 100,000 people have already requested a mail ballot already. Now, that is 5 times as many as were requested at the same point back in 2016. North Carolina is a no-excuse absentee state. That means that any eligible voter can request to vote by mail.